Now let's begin by telling you that tension has heightened in Edo over the leadership of the 18 local government areas of the state as councillors have impeached the chairpersons and deputies of the Umumonde, Orionwa and Onwa East LGAs. The impeached chairpersons were accused of alleged misappropriation of funds and dereliction of duty. During the impeachment of Kenneth Adodo, chairman of Umumonde LGA, on Wednesday, violence broke out at the LGA secretariat. On the same day, Councillor also impeached Aminu Okudo Kadiri, chairman of Onwa East, and Clement Ojebuowo, his deputy. On Thursday, crisis erupted in Orionwa LGA secretariat when some councillors impeached Daniel Osariemen, House leader of the legislative arm, over unruly and inappropriate actions. On December 27, 2024, Ege Ogbemudia, chairperson of Ego LGA, and Frank Osawe, his deputy, were also impeached. Earlier, legal practitioner Monday Mawa shared his thoughts on this.
Is an aberration and a rape of our constitution. The governor of a state has no power under any laws, whether the constitution, those state laws, or whatever, any other law. They have no power to suspend a local government under the dispensation. If you can recall, on the 11th of July 2024, the Supreme Court, which is the apex court, in a landmark judgment, which reached a finding that the local government has an autonomy. And the effect of that is that the autonomy that they has, which was initially recognized by the Constitution, by the provision of Section 7 of the Constitution, which was now affirmed by the Supreme Court decision of on the 24th of July 2024, is to the effect that no state government has the power to suspend, to dissolve, or set up a critical committee for the purpose of overseeing a local.
Following the presentation of the Rivers State 2025 Appropriation Bill before the Victor Okojumbo-led Rivers State House of Assembly by Governor Siminalayi Fubara and its eventual passage into law, the main opposition party in the state, the All Progressives Congress APC, has described the action as illegal. The Rivers State chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Tony Okocha, noted that the presentation of the 2025 Appropriation Bill to the Victor Okojumbo-led House of Assembly was illegal and in violation of court rulings as well as established governance protocols. Okocha, who spoke to journalists in Port Harcourt, said the governor's action demonstrated a blatant disregard for the rule of law and judicial pronouncements.
It is unfortunate. It is unimaginable, it is unthinkable that a governor had risen through the ranks. If for nothing else, he was a civil servant, full-blown civil servant in the Ministry of Finance. It means, of course, that over the years, he's not a toddler in the business of budget and how it is presented. 27 of the assembly members are on this side. 3 members of assembly are on this side. And between you and I, is it not an anathema that a budget of a state as prominent and as all important as Rivers State were presented to an illegal setting? Court of Appeal in their various judgments from the days of Omotosha way back in January 2024. It is clear in the judgment of Omotosha that a budget has to be presented to a legislative arm under the leadership of Martins, Right Honorable Martins Chike Amehu. I did all I could today as we speak on this matter. Each time I see the assembly members and see them still fronting their PDP membership, I just tell myself that for once you have lost something. I'm a goal-getter, but in that case, I lost it. I challenge any person from any ward, from any LGA, because I had to set my searchlight, and I was willing, I was wishing that any one of them would go and register for the party. None.
Earlier, former Commissioner for Information, Rivers State, Austin Tam George, shared his thoughts on this.
It's very clear, and I think there have been judgments, regarding that. So, this matter is already considered by the Rivers people as a settled matter. Now, the reality is that there are members of the Assembly who now constitute the legal, legislative arm of the Rivers State government. So those are the people that the governor can only legally deal with, as constituted in the state legislature. In fact, there are judgments that forbid the governor from dealing with, will always be for the FCT minister to focus on his administration in Abuja and allow the governor of Rivers State to implement the developmental agenda he has set for himself, so that Rivers State can move forward. This back and forth between the minister and the governor has nothing to do with personal differences, other than the governor insisting that there has to be an end to the privatization of state resources. There has to be an end to the capture of Rivers State resources for the benefit of the FCT minister, and that all resources meant for Rivers State will henceforth be used for the development of the state and for the benefit of all. It's as simple as that. Is the governor's agenda, and he has the full support of all Rivers people.
Now, reacting to this, we are joined by leader Renewed Hope Agenda, a queer local government area, Rivers State, Samuel Nosike. You're welcome, Mr. Samuel. Thank you for joining us. Now, I'm just going to go right ahead and ask, with all the political crisis that has emanated from Rivers State, this seems like the latest episode. Why should a budget passed by a three-man assembly be a legitimate document?
First of all, I thank you for this opportunity to weigh in on this issue, because the man that just spoke lastly is somebody that served under the administration of Ezeboye Wike, and he was sacked as a commissioner for information because he was a misfit to that office. He was sacked in the first tenure of Ezeboye Wike, and his permanent secretary was appointed to become a proper commissioner to run that administration in the remaining second tenure of Ezeboye Wike's time as governor of Rivers State. So you can see the bitterness in his heart. Everybody is aware that Austin Tam George has nothing to offer the people of Rivers State other than lies. Now, I want to say to the people of Nigeria that we want Austin Tam George and his co-travelers and the governor of Rivers State to please mention one legislator, whether a councillor, whether a House of Reps member, whether a senator or an assembly member in Nigeria that have lost their seat automatically without going through litigation processes. He should mention just one name. If he mentions one name, then Nigerians will consider his views as the truth. So arrest that case, because this case is an issue that is before the judiciary to handle. And again, Court of Appeal has said in 3 different occasions that Martin Sabehule has not lost his seat. Him and his 27 other colleagues, they remain the legitimate House of Assembly and those that will carry on the duties of the legislature, representing the 32 constituencies that make up Rivers State. And don't forget, the Court of Appeal even went further, warning the governor, telling him that presenting a budget, the 2024 budget before 3-man assembly is a joke taken too far. And even at that, they even put a warning in one of their judgments in the Court of Appeal, 3 different Court of Appeal judgments.
Now, Mr. Samuel
Jumbo never existed, and any action taken by Jumbo is null and void.
Mr. Wanosike, I want to draw us back to the focus here regarding the fact that this was a 3-man assembly and that it passed the budget, and we're looking for the legitimacy of that document that was passed. So, sorry to draw you back.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. And that's what I'm telling Nigerians via your platform, that is illegal. And so we are not bothered about it, because even the governor knows where this will end. He can, there's an end to illegality and rascality. Today, he is riding on the immunity that is in our constitution over the office of the governor, and he's behaving as if democracy does not exist. As far as he's concerned, he is the judiciary, he is the executive, and he is the legislator. In fact, he went as far as to say that he is the one that allowed the assembly to exist. If a man holds such kind of a view, why do you come to the public to exchange words with him? It means he does not understand the tenets of democracy have been issued. So, also going by what and George said, the lies he lied against Ezeboye Sowike, that Ezeboye Sowike is about state capture of the resources of River State. I want to ask you a question. Ezeboye Sowike is the minister of FCT. FCT is 4 times the capacity of River State. Ezeboye Sowike is doing wonderfully well. What is the security vote in River State? What is the security vote in FCT? Ezeboye Sowike has too much to offer the people of Nigeria, so cannot be bothered about statements made out of hatred and pains of a man that was kicked out of office for not having the capacity to deliver the dividends of democracy when he was offered the opportunity to serve the people. And hold on, let me make this statement, please, sir. He also made one allegation when he was speaking to you people some hours ago. He said that the governor is carrying out programs that will improve out-of-school education, and all those things are lies. The governor came and told the Rivers people in his luncheon that he has saved 100 billion from entirely generated revenue. The question is, how can you be saving 100 billion when we have projects undone in River State?
Okay, sir.
Even the projects that you signed with
now, Mr.
you're not funding them anymore.
Mr. We'd like to keep the segment on the appropriation bill. Your thoughts are well taken, but let's talk about opposition. What are the key points that opposition are actually bringing forward, and how do you see their stance to this issue?
First of all, there is no issue. There's an assembly, legitimate assembly. You remember when the Senate president visited the River State, he said he would never be a governor that will have such a political crisis. For getting to 2 years now, you cannot convince even one of the 27 assembly members. That means you have failed as a politician. That means he has nothing to offer the people of River State. He said, oh, that I have a budget that will grow. Grow with River State. We are talking about the fact that you spent River State money in 2024 without appropriation. There are several judgments of court which will also end the Supreme Court that said the budget of 2024 was not in existence. Omotosho said so. The Court of Appeal has agreed with judgment of Omotosho. And we are watching as Democrats, as those who are practicing constitutional democracy. And we are seeing a man coming to embarrass the Nigerian nation. Let me even tell you, when we had a peace accord meeting with Mr. President told the governor, I was seated there as a council chairman, I said, Mr. Governor, you have embarrassed the nation called Nigeria before the international community. How dare you take a budget of a state that has 32 constituency to a 3-man assembly? How? Now, as if he didn't take the warnings of the president of this nation, he has gone again out of rascality to say nothing will happen, heaven will not fall. He said he owns the judiciary. He said he owns the Court of Appeal. He said he owns the Supreme Court. Well, no problem. Nigerians are watching. We will get to that bridge and we will cross it.
Okay, so then,
in our part, we don't talk about judicial issues on national television. We allow the judiciary to do their work because they don't have a voice to speak for themselves.
So what effect does the decision to pass the Rivers Appropriation Bill through a 3-man assembly have on public perception of transparency and trust in the state?
It's an embarrassment to the people of River State. It shows that the governor has nothing to offer the people of River State. It shows that the governor is treading on illegality, and those illegalities will not stand. Both the 2024 budget, both the 2025 budget, all are illegal documents, and all expenses made via them are fraudulent expenses. And at the appropriate time, they will answer to them.
Oh, Mr. Wanosike, I want to say thank you very much for joining us with your opinion on the matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to break now, and when we get back, National Development APC Counters Peter Obi says the country is rebounding. We have details when we return. Welcome back. Now, the All Progressives Congress has assured Nigerians that the nation's economy is rebounding in significant measure across all sectors. The ruling party made the claim in response to the Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi's claims of worsening economic situations of the country. Obi, in his New Year press conference on Thursday, claimed that the political, economic and security situation of Nigeria is worsening daily, despite government's contrary positions. However, the APC, in a statement countering the former governor's position, said Obi's claim at a time when all indicators show that Nigeria is rebounding in significant measure. The statement, signed by APC's National Publicity Secretary Felix Moka, said Obi's New Year message was misleading and appears intended to score cheap political points. To further look into the conversation, we are now joined by a lead faculty in Rome Business School, Dr. Lambert of Webu. He joins from Bradford, United Kingdom. Dr. Lambert, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Good. Now, so what do you make of this, these claims and counterclaims by the former governor, Peter Obi, and the ruling All Progressives Congress?
Okay, that's interesting. You know, when I was being invited, I expressed my surprise because, you know, I'm not a politician. So I will be approaching the discussion strictly from thought leadership perspective. Yes, I want to create a balance because as opposition, they should have their voice. Peter Obi has done well by bringing out what the opposition thinks that is a challenge. In a similar vein, Felix Moka, in response, has equally done well because a man pushed to the wall will definitely use the wall as a support to push back. But you see, in all this, if I bring my thought leadership lens to where, you know, the two sides of the discussion, I will say, well, all well and good, draw a line of best fit, that there is no need of being absolute. For me, if I get a feedback from an opposition, I used to remember what my professor, when I was doing my PhD, told us, that any feedback, any criticism should be taken as a gift for you to run and improve your work. So the responsible position, I'm not a statistician, but again, the little I know about statistics will tell you that with the same data set, you can make all the arguments you can make in favor and it will be valid. From the same data set, you can also make all the arguments you can make against and it is valid. So in that case, where do we stand? So I would prefer us to see the heartbeat of the people. If you tell me that my mother cooked 5 pots of soup with X amount of naira and I am hungry, it becomes a challenge. So my take on it is not about, I remember Fela's song, you be thief, I know be thief, you be arm robber, I know be arm robber, argument, argument, argument. No, I don't want to go through that route. I'm not equally interested in the figures being put out there, but what we are saying is, in my own opinion, is for the government to look at those areas. Yes, you can discountenance the way and manner it may have been put forward, but again, you know, we need to, you know, look into in between lines and see areas of improvement and, you know, go after the improvement instead of,
do you think,
pushing back.
Do you think he was trying to? Do you think Obi was trying to score cheap points? Because his criticisms dwelt heavily on insecurity and poverty, of which we can see that in Nigeria it is a problem. So, aren't there justifications for that, for those claims?
Well, there are justifications, frankly. like I said, I am drawing a line of best fit. And in a similar vein too, remember, it will equally be wrong, totally wrong, to say that the present administration has not done anything. So, but my point from thought leadership perspective, like I told you, I'm a core professional in the area of organizational project management, is to, in fact, I'm equally proposing a concept called war room, whereby the people in leadership, people in government could equally select some people in opposition. You know, it's not really a media affair, a government functional affair, to see what are you saying, criticize us, you know, puncture our tires, deflect our tires, let's go and repump, and now see how best, because you see, the opposition is there and is for good of all of us. So when two elephants are fighting, the grass, you know, suffers. So I don't really believe that he was trying to score cheap goals. The indices are there. How are we feeling? How are we secured? But however, I will not still, you know, erode the potency in government of the day that saying that they have not done anything. What I can say, it should be a work in progress, and they should assimilate and take Peter Obi's comment as a feedback to go back to drawing board and make all of us better.
In going back to that drawing board, do you think there is a need to trim down on the running cost of the country like he proposed?
Of course, it's not a rocket science. Nobody should get me wrong. It did not start from this present government. I'm trying to be careful not to be, you know, a critic. It's a fundamental error, but we need to make conscious effort to come out of that. We are, you know, mixing up two systems of government, presidential and parliamentary, thereby making it very expensive. So I'm looking forward to a situation whereby we can look inwardly and tell ourselves, starting from executive orders, at least what is within our reach before we start talking of reforms. But there are things within our reach we can say enough is enough. Why going to this extent? Why having this number of convoy? Why holding us in hostage because a dignitary is visiting? They are all unnecessary. It still feeds back to what we are talking about, security. If we are secured, do we need a level of security personnel moving around with our dignitaries? You know, and all that and all that. So there should be a situation whereby we tell ourselves the truth and inwardly pencil out things we can do to reduce governance.
Well, Dr. Lambert, want to say thank you very much for joining us this evening and giving your, well, not a critique, but your opinion on the matter. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, in the meantime, the Kano State chairman of the New Nigeria People's Party, Hashimu Dunga, warned President Bola Tinubu to prepare for overwhelming defeat in 2027. He said going by the alleged anti-masses policies of Tinubu-led federal government, Nigerians had queued behind the party for the next general elections in 2027. He expressed optimism that the NNPP would be victorious in the 36 states of the federation, including the presidential election. Now, speaking to newsmen in Kano, he recalled that from his inauguration on May 29, 2023, Tinubu had been making life hard for Nigerians with the policies. Earlier, political analyst Ismail Awal discussed this on this news channel.
The way they are now, I'm telling you, one of the two things I mentioned is going to happen. But if things improve and become better, it means Nigerians might have confidence on the system, because you see what is happening today is Nigerians are very, very, very optimistic people. They see hope even in the little opportunity. But now Nigerians are losing that hope. Now, what Nigerians believe is the politicians or those in power don't have their interest in mind. This is what is happening because we have seen how fuel subsidy removal causes a lot of hardship to Nigerians. And then immediately after that, we have seen how education become very, very expensive that now a common civil servant cannot afford to send his or her child to school, not to talk of other ordinary Nigerians. And then we have seen how the president is trying so hard to implement the tax policy. And we have seen how experts are calling on the president on how that is also going to make Nigerians, or the life of Nigerians, very, very difficult. But the president is still being persistent about implementing those tax policies. Then whose interest is he protecting?
Now, despite his recent ordeals, embattled lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi is said to be in high spirits and dedicated to his perceived pursuit for national development. Peter Obi disclosed this in a tweet on Friday, following his visit to Farotimi, who recently returned from a correctional facility in Ekiti. The former governor of Anambra State and 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi expressed admiration for lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi, describing him as a symbol of courage in the face of adversity. Farotimi was released after being arrested on December 3rd by officers of the Ekiti State Police Command. Now, a member of the Political Bureau of Communist Party of China, Central Committee, and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has been billed to visit Nigeria. As part of his yearly routine, the visits, which will commence on Sunday the 5th of January through January 11th, 2025, will also see Yi visit 3 other African countries such as Namibia, the Republic of Congo, and Chad. This was revealed in a statement by the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning on Friday. The planned visits were based on invitations by the countries. This will be the 35th consecutive year that the Chinese foreign minister will visit Africa on the first overseas trip at the start of the year, according to Mao. Now let's talk security matters. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has restated the resolve of the Nigerian military in continuously upholding the territorial integrity of the country. General Musa was speaking in Samaru, southern Kaduna and Kaduna State, northwest Nigeria, during his working visit to the newly established Samaru cantonment to aid in the fight against insecurity. Correspondent Chizoba Anyanwe was on his entourage and now tells us more.
The Chief of Defense Staff began his tour of duty with a courtesy call on the traditional ruler of Kagoro in Zangon Kataf local government area of Kaduna State.
To show also our commitment to ensuring that there is more peace to southern Kaduna, more peace to Kaduna, more peace to the north, more peace to Nigeria, and invariably more peace to Africa. Because we believe it is only when we have peace that we can have development.
We pray for all of you, and we believe that same will soon be normal in Nigeria, the way we are going.
Thereafter, he moved to the newly established Samaru cantonment to see the level of work done and also to speak with the troops. He further commended the General Officer commanding 3 Division for the level of peace so far achieved in the area.
Remain very professional in your conduct. Nigeria is relying on all of us to make sure Nigeria is safe and secure. And that's the task we have to do. So I'm counting on each one of you, individually and collectively, to know that all of us are Nigerians. This country is our own. The work we are doing, we're on the right path. We are defending our country, which we have signed for. And we must do it well. We must respect the human rights of everybody. We are only after the bad guys.
The GOC 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, is optimistic that with additional combat enablers on the ground, more successes will be recorded.
We also have more MRAPs coming. And the one he missed out, which he has also promised, is the issue of motorcycles. They are all very conversant with our terrain.
Our terrain here, some of these places, you cannot enter them with gun trucks. So motorcycles are very, very key. Also, we'll be getting night vision goggles to enhance our night fighting capability. So we have no reason, we have no excuse not to deliver. Is that clear? Yes, sir!
The senator representing Kaduna South, Sunday Marshall, is asking for more civil-military relations.
Let's have a civil-military relationship, like he has been preaching everywhere. We want peace in the entire senatorial district, and by extension the state and the country. So we appeal to you to work with us, because we know and understand the environment. We respect what you're doing, you also respect what we're doing, and together we can make this place a safer place.
Now, with the visit of the Chief of Defense Staff here in Kaduna State, one would expect that the morale of these troops will be heightened, which will translate into better security in Nigeria. In Kaduna State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyowe.
The Borno State government has begun the assessment of deserted towns and villages in the state as part of its comprehensive plan to resettle displaced persons. The exercise involves a detailed review of security infrastructure and social services in areas ravaged by the insurgency. News Central's Umaru Kirawa completes the report.
Jauro Gajere, a displaced person taking refuge in this camp, survives on this business, making 300 to 400 naira daily. Jauro wants to go back home after the years of displacement to commence his occupation, large-scale farming.
Kuma a wasu kanar kuma da ta bana da andiya bana zana mangalo yongawa da kuma da ta yimlan alhamdulillah gumna andiya bana zana da rakan buso shaul sawala sanado a wanda duk so gaba kida kuma yesu chadda no rolo no.
These are the only edifices in Abaram in the hinterland Bama local government area of Borno State. To tackle the prolonged displacement concerns, the Borno State government is expanding assessment of abandoned towns and villages to facilitate recovery and resettlement.
We started the resettlement. You have seen Dara Jamal. We have been to Abaram yesterday, and inshallah, we hope to close one of the biggest IDP camps in Borno State, which is Bama IDP camp. And that will be a game changer, because it's no longer sustainable for us to continue to keep people at the IDP camps. You also have to take note that the Bama IDP camp was a secondary school before, called Government Girls Secondary School. Girl child education is very important. Non-governmental organizations have to take note that there is no going back. We must close these IDP camps and then ensure that people are resettled in a safe community in accordance with the Kampala Convention.
Construction work is still ongoing in Dara Jamal of Bama local government area of Borno State, and the government says it is committed to resettle all displaced persons back to their ancestral homes to pick up the pieces of their lives.
I want to commend the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the funding that we have been receiving from the federal government. Despite the low value of Naira.
The Borno State government have emphasized the state's commitment to restoring normalcy as displaced persons keenly await return to safe and habitable communities. In Bama for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Lamented the rising cost of goods and services during the Yuletide and its impact on the celebrations. While the significance and memories of the festive season remain in the hearts of many, the financial burden incurred, especially from the prices of basic food items, remained fresh in their minds. News Central's Omolola Ololade visited a major market in Lagos to sample the opinion of buyers and sellers.
Nigerians celebrated the festivities amidst the rising cost of goods and services owing to the country's current economic crisis, a situation that forced many to adjust their holiday plans while scaling down on their celebrations. 2024 festive celebrations have brought the harsh realities into sharp focus as some Lagosians reflected on the soaring prices of essential commodities at the start of the new year.
It wasn't easy when I entered market for the first time during the Christmas period. It was tough for me to the extent that I can't be able to cope with the price in the market.
I've just entered into the market. I find out that things has already doubled than what I bought, festival period. So whenever you come to the market, when you see things, if it's one, buy it like two and keep it, because you cannot, know what will happen tomorrow.
While the hike in food prices are taking a significant toll on Nigerians, forcing many into financial strain, sellers are feeling the impact, facing declining sales and reduced customer turnout.
During festive period, people don't really come out like that. And the price is normal price. It's not that we add money to the price. It's normal price. So people don't come to buy it in bulk. They buy it little by little. They buy it how they can afford it.
Goosey before we buy 6,000. Now it's 8,000. Ogbolo is like 30,000 for 35. Now it's 50,000. That's how we buy now. The prices go up.
People are just buying small. It says it's not even be like, well, no, there's no money outside. So people are buying little. If you want to buy, who's supposed to buy plenty, buying small. So it's not like before.
However, stakeholders in the consumer goods sector explained some of the reasons responsible for the soaring prices, while hoping that 2025 will be a better year for manufacturers and consumers alike.
For companies that had localized their distribution chain, they were able to stay resilient. For companies that had really they had market control, were also able to stay at top of their game. But those in between had a tougher time, adjusting and readjusting, because they had to keep changing prices. And if you don't have distribution on lock and your prices are changing very quickly, you might lose the market actually. So every single manufacturer had to be on top of their game in 2024 because it was really a bumpy year.
As Nigerians continue to lament over the rising cost of living and navigate 2025, many hope that relevant stakeholders will take urgent policy actions to curb inflation and protect livelihoods. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Now, some young people in Abia State say they are ready to abide by the newly released slogan of Day for Who, Day for You in 2025. They say the 2024 slogan of No Grief for Anybody helped rekindle the never give up spirit in most people and led to success stories. They have therefore said that they are willing to offer commensurate energy to anyone who they have dealings with this year as a survival instinct.
No grief for anyone. It really helps in a sense that considering the situation of things in the country, it's really motivated, especially the super egos in particular, because the country is so harsh. So whoever that supports you, you have to stand by the person to be able to survive.
Now, you can't be following people that will not, if something happens now, you need somebody, the person will not come. But if something happens to that person now, you'll be the first person there. So it's just one-sided friendship. You need to be for who is with you. If somebody, you can help somebody out, or somebody will help you out. But not if you're helping one person. When you reach the person turn to help you, now the person will now abandon you. So this year now, like this, focus, day for who, day for you. You understand? Anybody that is not with me, I will block, I will leave, I will avoid. Leave too much talk. No need for too much talk 2025. You guys focus.
But I believe in that stuff because I do help people that don't help me. I do help people that don't help me, but sometimes I stick to that day for who, day for you.
It's like they are bringing it for us to use that to start up the new year. More like, how the economy has been. In terms of that is not what we have been taught in the church. Yes, we're taught to always help people around us, despite those that give back to you and those that don't give back.
Now, welcome back. Now, Ghana's outgoing President Nana Akufo-Addo on Friday announced visa-free travel for all African passport holders from the start of this year, marking a step towards continental economic integration. Ghana joins Rwanda, Seychelles, Gambia, and Benin in offering visa-free entry to African travelers. Ghana had previously allowed visa-free access to citizens of 26 African nations and visa on arrival for travelers from 25 others, while only 2 African countries, Eritrea and Morocco, required a visa before entry. The visa-free policy builds on Ghana's efforts to strengthen its international reputation, particularly through initiatives like the 2019 Year of Return, which celebrated the African diaspora and commemorated 400 years since the transatlantic slave trade.
I'm proud to have approved visa-free travel to Ghana for all African passport holders with effect from the beginning of this year. This is the logical next step to the African Continental Free Trade Area and the workings of the largest trading bloc in the world. I'm happy to hand over a Ghana that is safe, secure, united, and firmly rooted in her attachment to democratic principles and respect for the rule of law. A nation that continues to shine is a beacon of peace and stability in an often traveled Africa and an uncertain world.
Now, sports. Super Eagles striker Omar Sadiq is set to join Valencia on loan from Real Sociedad in the January transfer window. The deal, according to confirmed reports, includes an option to buy option clause. The 27-year-old has struggled for consistent playing time at Real Sociedad since his move from Almeria, managing just 4 goals and 2 assists in 50 appearances across all competitions. Prior to this move, Sadiq was linked with several clubs, including Sevilla and Getafe, during last summer's transfer window. The move to Valencia provides a fresh opportunity for the forward to secure regular playing time and revive his career. And Chelsea defender Wesley Fana could miss the remainder of the season due to a hamstring injury. The 24-year-old France international sustained the injury during Chelsea's 3-0 win over Aston Villa on the 1st of December 2024, when he stepped on the ball while challenging Oleg Watkins. Fofana had started 12 of Chelsea's 13 Premier League matches prior to the injury, missing only 1 due to suspension. Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca expected a recovery time of 3, 4, 5 weeks, but now states that the injury will keep Fofana out for a very long time. While surgery is not required, Maresca admitted they are uncertain if he, the defender, will return this season. And in more sports, Novak Djokovic's Australian Open preparations were disrupted on Friday as he was defeated by American Riley Opelka at the Brisbane International. Opelka dominated with a powerful serve, winning 1 hour 40 minutes. Despite Djokovic's belief that at 37 he could still challenge younger players, Opelka, who returned to tennis in July after 2 years away due to surgery, proved too strong. The former world number 17 served 16 aces and faced just 1 breakpoint. Opelka will next face French rising star Giovanni Impecci Pericard, who defeated Jakub Mensik. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories that we brought your way. Councillors have impeached suspended local government area chairman in Edo State. And APC has countered. Peter Obi said Nigeria is rebounding under President Tinubu. And we also told you that Ghana has announced visa-free entry for African passport holders. Now, do remember you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino Appeal.